We are back with Standby Podcast, and we have a guest. We've been doing a couple episodes where it's just been
Not a
me.
special guest?
No, you're just a guest. Sorry.
We got a guest.
A guest.
I guess.
I was walking up there on fucking Sunset. And
He was walking by.
I was getting a coffee, and he was like, "Hey, we have an hour.
It started to
Hey,
rain.
come do our podcast."
I don't even know him.
It rains here in LA twice a year.
Yeah.
It started to rain. We're get in, come on.
Both of your guests, fucking
Yeah.
hey,
Well, we do. We are. What's your name, sir?
Andy Kozel. This is like a congressional hearing right now. Like they're just sitting over here, like there's no headphones. There's like Jimmy Hoffa
Dude,
over here.
this isn't Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like, yes. You know,
This is Elon Musk.
they say I look like Elon Musk a little bit.
You do? No, you don't.
No.
Not at
I just
all.
look like Derek
Works
Jeter a
for
little bit.
Derek Jeter?
What do you get? Like when I was young.
Are you
Definitely
kidding
white
me?
Derek
What
Jeter.
the
Wow.
fuck?
Well, I have like the
No.
same eyes. Look, I have the same Derek Jeter eyes, I think.
No, you don't.
And I kind of look like Lance Bass when I was in high school.
This is a
All right,
long
you're getting
list.
closer.
This is-
You're getting closer. Lance
Well,
Bass, I get it.
Who else? Stephen Baldwin.
Oh, yeah.
Derek
Okay.
Jeter.
I see.
Who did
Who
you get?
lied to you?
Who did you get?
I get.
Well, I was more thin and like I played baseball.
I get Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
I get.
How are my levels? Are my levels good? No headphones.
I get.
Ricky Martin. What a piece of shit. Like, no, you look like you. I mean, you know,
That's what
does
I
he look like
got.
him?
I've gotten that.
Well,
when younger.
So vain. You know?
I have trouble playing this game with anybody Latino or anything because
because it's two
Well,
white guys and it's like,
yeah.
what do you mean?
Yeah,
I don't
or
look like I'm like.
actually anybody of any ethnicity
Well,
other
he
than
looks
white.
like any country fan.
There.
Well, that's
See?
kind of racist on your part.
See, exactly. See, if I did that,
I mean, he's right, but that's racist.
if I did that, then it'd be completely racist.
Yeah,
But
what
you
does he
get
look
to
like?
go,
You kinda look like
just a generic white guy here next to me.
Kind of like a mullet hat. When he takes the hat off, he's like bald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
who
know
did you
what
get? You never
What
got.
do you get?
I only get, it's when they hear me talking, though. I don't know who I look like, but the guy, and I can't think of his name now, the guy who was in Scooby-Doo and stuff. Not Shaggy, but the guy
Shaggy?
who played Shaggy.
You kind of look like my uncle Dennis
In
when he was
there.
young. Because
There-
we have
okay.
redheads in our. My
Like
brother's
who?
redhead. My uncle Dennis.
Oh, like.
I look like people's uncles.
in the
All right.
70s. Well, when he was young in the
And
70s.
then,
Yeah. A little bit.
Hey, what did he remind you? Like, hey, Andy, come take a look at this.
Do you miss your uncle?
Oh, my uncle didn't touch me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That's racist too. You think every white uncle touches the kids?
It's pervist.
Yeah, you're pervert.
Hey, that's why the Cain Velasquez almost killed that guy.
True. Well, who else you get? Ricky Martin. He's like a
No, I got in Jimmy Fallon. I've gotten.
Wow. That's like his
I've
Derek
gotten
Jeter.
the New Kids on the Block guy. One of the guys on the New Kids on the
Oh,
Block.
like the Jonathan guy, kind of.
One of those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh, I guess impressive.
I mean, like
I don't know.
like two A-listers and like one of the biggest bands
Yeah.
ever.
What am I supposed to say? Like,
it's a
well,
tough
of course,
game.
Like, if
It's a
somebody,
tough game.
nobody says like you look like my uncle. Who the fuck is your uncle? I mean, like.
Well, next time if I'm ever doing a podcast down the street, I'll be like, and you're walking by, like, hey, Ricky Martin, come do my podcast.
Well, I think this is a way to get out of the game quickly without being racist. Is you name when if somebody's like, "What does this person of ethnic diversity or whatever look like?" and you go, "My old friend from college, Rhonda," and then nobody can prove
Yeah.
it right or wrong or
That is
whether
kind
or
of
not.
bullshit though, because if I saw you out, I didn't know you, and I'm two white guys, I'd be like, hey, you look like Ricky Martin. He's like, why? Because I'm Latin. You know, it's like,
No,
yeah.
I wouldn't care. That makes
yeah.
sense to me. Like to me, it's
Some
when
people would though. Some people.
I mean, to me, it's if it makes sense. If you would tell me like you look like Samuel L. Jackson, I'd be like, what? I don't see it at all. You know
right,
what I mean?
but if you say that, but as a white guy, if you said that to a black man, if you go, "Hey, you look kind of like Samuel L. Jackson," immediately be like, "Oh, because
it's like that. It's like the Seinfeld episode when George is like he tells the boss that he looks like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
and then he's like, "Oh, because I'm black." It's like,
yeah.
That's kind of how it happens. Though.
Yeah.
and then he's like, "No," and then the other guy's like, "Hey, he looks like
But
Sugar."
some people really do look like the people,
Yeah. So what's? I mean, but
That is true.
but you can't like.
That's your only
But why
defense
can't
while
you,
they're
though?
yelling at you
But
and they
that's
got their
how I am. My
pitchforks
mom's like
out.
that too. I like have to tell people. I don't know why. Like I'll be out like I don't know why I have to like. I'll just be like at a party, like, hey, you look like this. I'm like, why do you fucking say this? And the guy's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And like, fuck it, like ruin the party, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just have to tell people.
I try to avoid
You
it.
look like the difference between this and this. You know, people like.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it has to come up normally. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I just
I always go like, you probably get this all the time, you know, and then people are like, yeah.
And they're like, shut
look
up,
like-
Ricky Martin.
And I'm like, hey, so speaking of Ricky Martin,
Have we even introduced our
no, yeah, speaking of Andy Kozel, he's
Derek Jeter?
Speaking of Ricky Martin and Derek Jeter, Andy was huge in the 90s.
I was. That's why I still wear my fucking flannels and my hat backwards.
That's why he's dressed like Dave Matthews Band.
Andy and I walk
44
down the
and I'm
street, and we are the country band you've been
going to
looking for.
Lollapalooza, fucking 94.
Yeah.
Ooh, I went to 94 and I got Coolio's autograph.
Oh, really?
Wow.
In Chicago?
Yeah, it was in Tinley Park. When Lollapalooza was just in, no, when it would travel. And then they stopped doing it. They just made it just permanently in Grant Park. But Tinley Park is like Orland Park. It's like south suburbs.
Oh, really?
So that's where the World Music Theater is. And
Was it an awkward autograph
no,
attainment?
because he was in the side stage.
Did you tell him you
and, like,
look like somebody else?
Yeah. Was it?
Well, they were all, like,
still have
there was
it.
a line. He was like in a little pavilion and like this little like thing, and it was a side stage. I don't know who was playing the main because we went over there like, let's get his autograph. And then like right after I got my signed T-shirt and it said "Better make a laugh" on the back, and it said Coolio. The fucking fight broke out, and like he was fighting all his entourage and like tore down the whole thing, and like they go, "No more signing," and I was like, "Fuck, I was the last guy."
Wow.
And then
Right.
I was in high school, and then in the late '90s when the Ecstasy boom hit, and I was in college. Ecstasy pills were like $30, and we were like, "Fuck, I don't have any money" because we're broke college kids. So I took that Coolio shirt, and my friend had a garage sale, and she's like, "Bring anything down to sell," and I had that Coolio shirt, and I'm like, "Fuck," and someone bought it for like $50.
So you bought it, you sold it to do ecstasy?
Yeah, in order to
Wow.
do drugs. This is a serious, like,
Wow.
did you have a problem? You were in
This was
This was
college.
the '90s. That's what it was in the '90s.
As I walked
The
through
90s were a
University of
problem.
Illinois. That was like a lot of drugs in University of Illinois.
Really? As I walked
Wow.
through the valley of the
We were in Time
shadow.
Magazine, I think, for all like the Ecstasy boom. Like kids were getting like
Oh,
frat
really?
houses were getting busted and shit. And
If you currently have Andy's Coolio signed shirt,
his name was DJ. It was dating my friend that came with
Oh,
them
you
to
know
the ground. Yeah, well, this was in junior college before I left,
right?
and or no, came back. It was right after junior college, right when I first got to the University of Illinois, but it was that summer. So the people I knew in junior college were still in like the town, and she was like, her boyfriend came and he was in a band, and he's like, "Fuck Coolio," and I was like, $50, and he's like, "All right."
Wait, why didn't you work?
What do you mean? I did. I worked at Hooters
Like,
in college.
Like,
Why didn't you have a job to get
I
money?
worked at Hooters in college.
oh, okay.
But you fucking busboy. I'm not, you know.
you
Nobody
were,
you can't be a waiter.
wait, you were a busboy in Hooters?
Yeah, you just do whatever they tell you. And I was a service bartender too, so you'd be back there with a girl because I know I was a bartender.
Yeah.
And you would just do the drinks and hand them to her, and she'd go over there and like.
But did you work there just because to be with the girls or to actually
Well, it
for
was
the job?
brand new.
Support his drug habit.
It used to be Jeff. It used to be Jeff George's, a quarterback's place. It was on the interstate. It was like it was called Time Out, and then it went under, and then Hooters took it. It was a huge building, and everyone wanted to work there in that summer because it was brand new.
Ah, got
So all the sorority girls and shit like that, and then when that summer ended, they all quit.
it. Oh,
I
really?
went back to school, but
That window when Hooters
there's actually
was cool
there's actually
and
a
new.
famous picture in Hooters. I took that picture. There's a picture that it's a meme that goes around. It shows Hooters girls giving these women like, this is degrading, the protesters, and she's giving them waters. I took that picture.
Oh,
That's from the
really?
Champaign Hooters.
Wow.
Fucking believe that, and it's a meme now.
Wow. And did you
crazy.
sell that for drugs or?
Yeah.
The
Well,
picture?
I mean,
Have you?
it was on a little digital.
Have you still got it?
No, it's
No, it was
hanging.
like it was the Hooters,
but-
the manager's camera.
Oh.
And I remember I was working. I go,
Oh,
take a
okay.
picture of this, Andy, and I took the picture. It was
Oh,
it
right.
was on my
So
thing.
yeah, that's right. So you don't have the digital
I don't have
copy.
digital.
I'm like, all right, there we go.
Wow.
So if you have that too,
Wow.
I don't know whose camera. But the one thing with the Hooters was like, it's so weird with Hooters. Like you all have to have they have like a big meeting of sexual harassment meeting.
Of course, right?
And all the guys that do it are the managers. All 3 of them got sexual harassment.
Oh, really?
And then what they did was they didn't even fire them. They would just move them to another Hooters, like at ISU or like up to Chicago.
Ooh.
So they just like move
So
these.
it's like-
these
Move
creepy-
the problem around.
So Hooter managers are like priests. They
they're
just
creeps.
moved you
They're
to
creeps.
another.
They're all kind of creeps because it's like.
Well,
they
who's
call-
working? That's the thing. That's why it's like. I mean,
And they're all dating the girls. Like one girl, the hottest girl, was always dating the manager because she got the best shifts. It was like a. It's so fucked up.
what'd you do? Did you hook up with
Who
any other
knew?
Hooter?
Who knew that
But we
Hooters
used to
would
have
be
a huge.
so
I lived with
dodgy?
8 guys with the wrestlers, and like we had this huge, like this big yellow house, and it was like a party house. And during the summer, everyone would stay there during the summer during college. It was great, because it was less people, but and we had all the Hooters girls would come over after work in their outfits, and they got in trouble because there was a policy you can't wear it outside of work.
Oh.
But we had this huge party with the fucking Hooters girls walking around the hottest girls, and I was like, "This is the best party ever." And we were like,
Wow.
There seems to be, I think there's definitely a stigma around the uniform now where you won't catch them wearing the uniform everywhere.
yeah, I mean
after
everything's
work.
kind of.
Well,
I think Hooter, everything's cyclical though. I feel like Hooters is going to come back with a big like. They're just going to
Big
change the
menu,
outfits.
new menu.
What they did was
I never liked those shorts.
Well, that's the thing. It's
Like,
the guys that
those
started
shorts
it
look
were these
weird.
creepy old men from Clearwater, Florida, and like they were Miami Dolphins fans. So they had some Miami Dolphin cheerleader shorts and that. So in the late '90s, there was a big petition by the girls saying like, can we get like hot pants and change the outfits? And these old guys, they're probably dead now. They wouldn't do it. They're like, no, this is what we like. The old creepy fucking Weinstein fucking CEOs and
Yeah.
shit. So I think if Hooters, if they switch the outfits
You got a shot, Hooters.
into something modern, I think that would have and maybe change like the sign, like revamp
Yeah.
it. I think it would fucking be huge.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean,
the great Hooters remodeling.
Well, we're gonna tag
Are you
Hooters.
I'm looking at the camera. Is this?
yeah. You gotta look at the camera.
Hi, everybody in
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
land.
The Hooters and so
we're going to take Andy Kozel around on a tour with the photo and going, I took this photo, therefore Hooters should
I
listen
can
to
find,
me.
Will you guys, when you edit this, will you?
yeah, we'll
I'll send you the picture.
yeah, send me a picture and we'll put it the picture.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I might have the.
I mean, I don't have those skills.
I'll call my mom and see if she has a picture of that shirt because I feel like I had like a.
Nice.
Or I was in it. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
cool.
Or-
As
Look
long as
cool
you
there.
have the photo, you own it forever.
Better make a laugh.
So
Was the
it was
ecstasy,
LEFF, not-
was the ecstasy trip worth it?
Oh my god, Ecstasy back then was fucking unbelievable. Dude, that's what it was like $30. It was like fucking no fat.
What does it feel like to be okay? Because I never done ecstasy or I never done mushrooms. So what's the difference? Are you in ecstasy and mushroom?
I'm trying to think of the
Have you?
differences. Yeah, I've done.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But what's the difference?
Oh, mushrooms is.
Mushrooms trippy? What imagery do you get when you're trippy? Because ecstasy is like high.
Yeah, I'm not a big psychedelic guy. I mean, I'll do a little bit of mushrooms just to like it. It's like you get like a little funny and like you laugh.
But mushrooms more like
well, yeah, that's if you take a
Mushrooms
lot.
is more like
That's if you take a
LSD.
lot.
the what?
Mushrooms is more like LSD.
So that's more
Right.
like you're like in another world. Kind of
Seeing things.
thing?
Yeah.
And then what does ecstasy do?
Ecstasy's like
Happy.
in
A
the
resident
realm of
DEA
an
agent over
upper,
here,
like cocaine and
Ecstasy is much more happy and like
ecstasy makes you very affectionate as well.
It's just like you're euphoric. It makes you euphoric.
Got it.
But then euphoria
wasn't the
euphoria
thing
makes
that-
you feel like you're like have a body thing, but it's more like you're.
But it wasn't a thing that is supposed to make you horny. Wasn't that the thing?
That's kind of a.
That was a lie.
No, I
right?
think you just like people. I think because every time, it's hard to have sex on ecstasy because or any kind of drug. If you're like really fucking on a drug,
You
like,
got to
you're-
put a lot of effort
yeah,
in.
your dick like shrinks or like.
Oh, really?
But that's why a lot of people take.
You got to concentrate.
That's why a lot of people take Viagra with like Coke or ecstasy because like you can get your dick up without thinking about it. You know? I don't want to have a heart attack because
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a.
Yeah, too much.
I'm
yeah.
very kind of.
Yeah.
I'm a purist.
Yeah. I'm a purist. Wow. Well, it's so. I just want to also, by the way, just so we can know, we never introduced Andy. He's not some random guy on the street that does ecstasy.
We weren't at
and sell
Hooters.
coolios.
We were at
Why you
Hooters
should actually
earlier.
just put Andy guy from the street like this is the best guest ever. These fucking other fucking comedy store guys are like these guys are boring as fuck. Like get this guy on the street.
All of it.
Yeah.
No, but like so for Andy, like he's a good friend of mine. He's a comic, very funny comic, and performers all over LA as well, and tours as well. But also he just you recently shot a movie that was that is basically Dreamland.
Yeah, it's called Dreamland, a storming Area 51 story. It's on Amazon, all like streaming, any platform.
So what is it about? A quick recap of what is it about.
Brian Marino, a friend of mine, he had some money and he wanted to do a documentary, so we kind of went out, rented RVs and a crew and all these things. So it's like a remember storming Area 51? That was like a big thing.
So
Right.
what is it?
It was like some viral thing that was like like a bullshit thing that people were gonna go do. It like went viral, like,
Was it?
What was it?
Were
like
they?
they were gonna like run through Area 51 to like try to find
Because
like,
Area
the gates.
51 is, for people that don't know, is where the aliens are supposedly,
yeah,
right?
everyone knows that.
Was
so it's
it-
like,
and was
but
this
they wanted to
about-
run through the gates and shit and like be like crazy.
All
It's
right.
like,
So it was about causing shit and
yeah, it's
getting
causing
in
shit and
trouble.
stuff. So we're gonna go and like film it. So it's kind of like a mockumentary. It's really cool and it documents the whole thing, but also we're kind of like it's kind of like The Office mixed with like all these.
So it's not a deep dive to learn about Area 51. It's more.
No, it's more like we're-
shit stirring.
We're like documenting the fucking shitstorm of what happened.
But it's also a mockumentary. It's not even like.
But
you're
it's a documentary, but it's like.
But you're playing
These are real
characters.
people. Everyone's real, So
Right.
it's like, but
So it's a
it's
real
kind of like
doc.
it's a real doc.
But you're playing characters.
We're all playing ourselves, but like a different version of ourselves. I don't even know if I can say that, but I mean, because it's kind of like it's fun to watch it and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
real? What's going on here?
Right.
Dreamland, a storming Area 51 documentary.
No, but it's supposed to. Well, that's pretty cool. And why? And then you did that for when was that? That was before the pandemic.
Yeah, right before 2019.
So you drove from here. So how was it? You drove all
Oh, we
in
got like 3 RVs, like a camera crew, and then we had a crew like kind of following the camera crew.
This is a big production.
It was.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And it's like The Office, but then imagine The Office and you're filming the camera crew filming The
So
Office.
it's like you're making.
So they're
two
characters
movies.
doing it, and they're playing themselves. So it's like it's kind of big thing where it's like it's really cool. It's
Right.
kind of intricate, but it's really kind of there's a name for it in cinema, but I'm trying to think. I don't know off the top of my head.
Film within a film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
there's like
guess.
some Latin term I think for it.
Right.
Latin term,
Like some
a
Latin
film
term?
within a film.
I don't know if I can look it up.
Where since you had all these eccentric people that you were covering,
it
since you
turned
had the
into
team
like
that's
a weird,
covering the
like,
team that's
fire
covering the
festival.
eccentric people, was there anybody who was like wildly out of control?
Oh, it was fucking
eccentric
insane. And
people?
we got interviews, and Brian was like kind of the director, so he was interviewing real people that got abducted and like these crackpots, and like we didn't make fun of them. Like we were kind of like, fuck, I want to hear you. And they had some really crazy shit where like one guy worked there, one guy, But it's kind of like a fire festival too. So they had bands and shit playing, and like people were on drugs. It was like fucking wild.
Wow.
So it's like-
Is Area 51 frequently like that, or is it?
No, it was like there's nothing there, so it's like a middle of the desert.
So it's not a
you
gap.
just had the gates. So like we had
Like, because I think
People
of
got
Area
arrested.
51 like in terms of like if you go to like Uluru in Australia, Ayers
Yeah.
Rock or what's not Stonehenge or whatever, but yeah, places like
you
that just
can't-
have
But
people
also, it's like
camping out.
Area 51 is like the gates are like 30 miles away from it. So it's like there's just like
Oh.
a gate and with like a thing, but like those people, these fucking
So it's not a
stupid
situation
Gen
where
Z kids, they think that like, oh, we're gonna just chop over the gate and there's aliens going like this, So I think, but they just wanted to,
we're
start
going
shit.
to see the aliens.
They want to start
man.
shit. So there's a bunch of people at the gate like throwing shit at the cops. And they're like,
but
and all
it's-
they're like, just get the fuck out of here. It's
Oh,
like,
right.
but then it was like there was a whole like fairground, not a fair, but like where everyone's RVs were and shit. It was like so it was like this makeshift like fire festival type thing. And it was like kind of bonfires and
So it's
Fucking
like
crazy.
Independence Day,
the what?
like
Yes.
the movie Independence Day.
with a bunch of
Somewhat,
motorhomes.
yeah.
I
like,
mean,
like
yeah.
those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Where Randy Quaid was from.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Right. Yeah.
And like all these people were really kind of like these desert dwellers and like
Yeah, of course.
It was really cool. And we met all these people and they're kind of like, yeah.
But was there one that you go like I believe, or it's like it's all like, all right, you're just in mushrooms or something like that, or like was
No,
there?
because it was like 2 days long.
No, I'm saying like when you interview people, were you?
Oh no, because these are like older people.
But were you
They're
one?
like an
You were
old
like,
guy, like an old like woman, that was like old people.
But did you talk to them? And were you as they're talking? Are you in your mind going like, all right, this is BS, or like is this like
I don't know. I mean, like, well, we put that. He was the one interviewing them in the RV, like, so we have clips of them, and it's like,
Yeah.
fuck, they fucking know what they're talking about Bob Lazar and all that shit, and like what
about who?
Bob Lazar, like the guy that
No.
Rogan interviewed, and like he worked at Area 51. He's talking about all the technology that they have that they were not going to let out and all that shit. So these people were talking about it, and it's kinda
wow.
cool. Yeah.
Sounds really interesting.
It is really interesting. Fucking get it. It's $2.99. This son of a bitch. He goes, give me the free link. I go, it's $2.99, dude. Your fucking coffee was $5.
Hey, what's the free link?
That thing was $3.
We're close friends, man. You gotta
Yeah.
give me the free link.
The free link.
Hey, I have to give you the. I have to do the
fucking touring all over the country. Like, give me the free link.
I'm a movie reviewer. I have
Comics are
to,
so cheap, dude.
I have to
It's like-
review. I
I,
have to review. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to the.
Even when comics are making it, comics are so shitty. Even when comics are making it, like, oh, can I have some gas money? You're like, what the fuck are you fucking making millions? Some shit,
Hey,
dude.
you don't get. Hey, some of the
That's
richest.
how it is. Those are the richest comics.
Some
are
of the richest
biggest
comics are the
They're
cheapest
the cheapest motherfuckers.
motherfuckers.
I guess that's just life. But fuck
Yeah.
their ass, fuck, man.
But that is one thing that I learned, I think, like, which I never want to be, like, I feel like a lot of rich people are rich because they're just greedy as shit. Like, I'm like, and I'm like, what's the point of being rich if you don't want to spend anything? I mean, to me, it's like,
Yeah, kind of
that's the
every-
point.
every
Like,
kind of-
you don't have to throw away money, but like, people, it's crazy how people are like, that are rich are like, I don't want to spend money on, and like little simple stuff, you know what I
Right.
mean? But I guess that's why they
That's
got
why they
rich.
do it, because they view the penny as just as much as $100 bill. So it's like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like a weird.
Yeah, but
like,
I feel there's got to be a balance. I mean, you can't just be like, what's the point of all that work and then you're not
That's why a lot of
spending
people kill
money,
themselves,
you know
you
what I
know?
mean?
Yeah, it doesn't make you happy.
Of course.
So
I mean, I would.
I'd,
I'm like throwing like fucking $200 a weekend on DraftKings. Like,
I'd
come
figure it
on,
out.
baby.
I'd figure
Come
it
on,
out.
Brady, you fucking asshole. I'm the same age as Brady. He went to Michigan. I mean,
really?
you're younger.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And he was in the Big Ten, you know, so like we would, and Illinois was pretty good that year. So, but, you know, Henson was the quarterback for them. He didn't even start.
you could have
Right.
been.
I remember
an
we were
athlete
like, it was
too.
like a tight, when I used to work for ESPN during the games, because my friend worked for him, and we would hold the parabs. And my roommate was a huge stoner. You know, the parab things with the sound.
Uh-huh.
And like, we'd just be like this, and we'd have to go towards the action. And my one friend, Neil, was this big, like, just stoner guy.
don't say.
And like, he would hold it, and he'd go like this, and like, they go, and I remember like, my friend would be in the building, he's like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, fucking Neil just be going like this, and like, the game was over here, and he'd be going like, just like, turn him. Like, they grab him like, oh, sorry, you know, because he's so stoned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the parabs, you know, it's like a big dome.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Fucking stoner out. Stoner out too. Fuck, you just zone out on me?
You're the one zoning out. You're going to some ecstasy trip or something.
I'm following. I'm just still trying to figure out what Area 51 would be like.
I'll stand by, because this guy just goes, stand by.
I've been
Stand by.
to I've been to where the Loch Ness Monster is. I've been there.
Yeah, you're a world traveler, huh?
There was a dude. There was a dude who he's probably passed away now, because this is probably 15 years ago or something. But it's an old guy in a little RV camped out, and the tour guide person was like, "Yeah, he's here all the time,
Just
And
looking
then-
for it?
And then occasionally there's 5 or 6 other people that show up, you know, with their.
But didn't they
binoculars or
like
whatever,
take
and then-
like modern technology and swipe that whole lake with like a
yes
thing, and they were like,
Yeah.
there's nothing in here. You know,
Well,
it's like-
shouldn't you be dead by
Hey,
now,
look,
the
there's
monster?
There's still people looking for the Sasquatch.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Is
still
that-
people looking for Bigfoot and everything. There's something to the lore that just creates
Well,
the
I think
tourism
that's the
dollar.
thing with human beings. They always want to like believe in something that's not real. It's like, can you just be like some guy that you just walk by naked? That was hairy, but like no, it's gotta be something.
You should explain. We should do
Sunset Sasquatch.
Francisco explains away all myths.
Yeah, you should do another podcast called Myth Busting, you know, something like
Yeah,
where you-
because I mean, like to me, it's like if it's not true, then why hasn't it come out? You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like
well,
that
all
would
those
have.
Bigfoot shows and stuff like that, like they're taped before, so it's like if they would have found something, it'd be in the fucking news.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna wait till this dumbass Discovery
Yeah.
show and nobody watches.
Exactly.
So
and we
then-
have heat-seeking
Then how about
capabilities. to
then how
see.
about aliens? Why are they haven't come out yet?
That's different.
They're amongst us.
Oh,
They're
why is
amongst
that
us.
different?
Yeah, I think they're amongst us. They're not
dude.
coming from. They're living inside.
No, my
the
only
earth.
my thing of aliens to me is like if they're real, I feel like they're so way advanced, like so advanced from us that they don't even like we don't even see them or they don't even come to us because it's like us trying to talk to ants.
True.
Like we're the ants. So like the aliens are going like, yeah, there's no way that like why we're
But
gonna.
what do you think? I think they say that we share the planet. That's why they're coming out of the water and shit.
I think
Sometimes.
Elon Musk is an alien.
Yeah, they're not coming from outer space. They're already here, so they're like living inside the earth or some shit.
What is it, like Men in Black?
Black.
That's
Yes.
the Men in Black thing.
Wasn't Men in Black too? Like
Sure.
that movie
I
was
don't
like.
think Men in Black created the idea.
No,
I
but
think
but-
it's been around.
It's been around.
I think you can go
So
back to
who's-
Twilight Zone.
So you
know.
say that they're living here already?
Ancient aliens, man.
Yeah. Are we blowing your mind, dude?
No,
with
no,
this
but like
theory?
as human beings,
They're
they're
blowing my mind, man.
they're fake as human beings.
Yeah,
There's
that's
lizard
the idea.
people.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
What's the come on?
Well, that's
But
why they're
what's the
coming out
proof?
of.
Where's
That's
the
why they're
proof?
coming out of the water because they're coming. There's like
Yeah.
portals or something through the water.
Didn't you watch you like your TV? Didn't you watch V?
Oh my God,
In the
V.
80s, remember V?
Freddie
in the
Krueger was in
80s?
it. Remember
Oh,
Robert
yeah,
Englund
dude.
was in it.
That was
I love that shit.
Francisco,
Well, they
you're-
rip
You
off
have a V in your. What are you, a believer?
You're in for a treat.
V the final
yes,
battle.
I'm here
Remember?
to.
And it was that
V for Vendetta?
MacGyver was in it, wasn't
no,
he?
not V for Vendetta.
Wasn't MacGyver? Or was the other guy that looked like him?
Yeah, I think that realm and a bunch of like the guy who was also in
And I was going to say Kirstie Alley, but it wasn't. She was in Star Trek.
got good cast.
There was some hot
Wait, is this a
actress back then.
movie?
It was like a miniseries.
It's a miniseries
for
Alright.
TV.
and they rebooted it like a decade ago with Marina Baccarin.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they rebooted. I don't know what happened to the reboot.
Well, it was like kind of like the aliens come and they're cool with everybody, but then they find out like they start taking off the
they're
skin. They're lizard people.
lizards, and somebody sneaks on
Yeah,
a ship
sure.
and sees them. They're actually eating humans for food.
Okay.
I feel like
And,
this guy goes home, everything. He's like, what is this, cereal? Yeah, cereal, whatever. You know, it's like, just like, so.
No, I mean, again, it's like
Is this real?
Total,
it's
the
a
guy
lot
from
of,
Total Recall, one of Arnie's, the guy who's
Oh, Michael Ironsides.
Ironside. He's in it. It's you're in for a treat, Francisco.
I'm good.
You should maybe take a deep dive into a
Yes,
little bit
you
of
need to take
sci-fi.
more deep dives in this shit.
I'm not taking deep dives. I'm to make believe stuff. That's the same thing as like, what are you, a Harry Potter?
You
You
sound like
believe
my
in
dad.
magicians?
You're like, I don't go for any of this shit. I don't
mean,
want
it's-
superheroes and sci-fi. None of that
I mean,
shit.
I'll watch it for entertainment, but I know it's not true.
Oh, well, that's the way we all feel.
No, he's saying that all these things
Well,
are
let's
true.
open your mind, man.
I'm not. Again, I open
like
my mind,
pot?
but if I see somebody that's a truth, I'm like, okay, I can. That makes sense. You know, if I something.
Didn't everyone know Ricky Martin was gay? And I bet he was like, no, he's not. You know, like everyone kind of knew.
No, I knew.
You look
Everyone
a bit
knows,
like
right?
Ricky
I
Martin.
used
That
to,
was always the rumor.
I
like,
used to
you
have
know.
a bit about it, which
Oh,
I
you
couldn't.
did?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But at first he's probably like, you look like Ricky Martin. He's like, no.
Here's my question that I have for you after doing this production and dealing with the people that are like that. I'm curious how you would watch somebody. You just watch somebody who's crazy and has a crazy theory, and you just go, "That's just crazy," right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like putting this together?
I mean, just like I'm watching Andy right now, this whole podcast.
This is like a hearing. Anyway, lawyer. Did I say that? Yes.
oh man, we had flat
He
earthers.
just look. He always like this.
We did an
Yes.
interview with a bunch of flat earthers for the Jim Jeffries show, and I remember like they
God,
just
that's
kept
too
doubling
much.
down on it. And then at one point, one of the craziest guys just went, "Hitler was a Jew," and we were like, "What's happening?"
Well,
here?
their whole fucking thing is like that's just they think that NASA made up those pictures, and that's your only proof. You know,
Yeah.
they're saying like, well, those pictures are like of the Earth. You know, I'll show you like.
Yeah, that's crazy to
it's
know.
getting-
You know, because there's proof that you couldn't even go if you have
What is it?
enough money.
Well, also, are they the religious people that think the Earth is only 2,000 years old with the dinosaurs and we were with them? And
Oh
shit?
yeah, that's another.
It gets
right,
so
yeah.
complex, doesn't it? There's an ice wall as well.
Oh, there's an ice wall.
There's an ice wall, I think, surrounding
But
it.
I mean, where is it like just like a flat thing? You know, like when the rocks. You know, like when it's sitting in the space.
You'd think that we'd all get smarter as a society.
No, we don't. What is it?
It's like the Truman Show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. We're all trapped in a Truman Show.
How does where does
Again,
gravity
is
come?
this,
Sometimes I think-
again, a lot of I feel like humans love to justify stuff that's not real in order to make their lives better when their lives are not that good.
Well, no, it's dumb people that want to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dumb people want to compete with smart people. That's it. And they want to go like, I know more than you. I know something you don't know, smart guy. And it's like,
Yeah.
you don't.
I always feel that way about these conspiracy theories of like, really, your conspiracy theory has more faith in the government for them to be covering these
True.
things up on
That's
this
true.
level.
That's
and I'm
true.
like, and
Like,
you,
they're not-
and
they're
you
not
call
that
me,
smart.
and you want to call us like a sheep or whatever, trusting your government or what. I'm like, I don't trust them.
But also-
I just don't believe that even they're smart enough to keep the ice wall flat earth from us.
True. And also,
you know,
it's like
to
a normal
keep
person. If you believe in this stuff, like you wouldn't like it wouldn't consume you.
Yeah.
These conspiracy addicts are like, just like all day, every day. I'm like,
Every
isn't-
day.
Like enough, dude. Go eat.
Well, that's what I'm
You know,
saying,
it's like,
because-
no, man, this shit. It's like
It's because they don't have their life. They
there's
don't have
always
a
wake
goal,
up.
You
Like-
know, I mean, like that's the only way for them. I
But
mean,
then
like,
they never have a plan. They're always like, "Hey man, wake up! You guys need to wake up." And this
Yeah,
stuff.
you
I
need to
go,
wake
well,
up.
what do you want us to do? I go, they don't write anything else.
Because I go like,
you can't just tell people to wake up.
Yeah, like, do you know
Well, if
how
you don't
much?
know, you really got to wake up. I'm like, oh fuck.
Do you know how much it would cost to have faked the moon landing? It was definitely cheaper to hurl human beings at the
Yeah.
moon in
And
the
also,
60s.
like,
that was way cheaper.
all those
Faking it, you'd have to pay for catering.
Yeah.
You'd have to, like,
Cater.
everybody would have to sign non-disclosure. It would be a pain in the ass to fake the moon landing,
Yeah.
and
also, like,
far more
and
expensive.
like the 9/11 thing, I get like if maybe they ignored it, but there, people are saying like no, like there was like all these pyrotechnics and all the buildings, and like I go all 3,000 people, all these people were in on it that were in there. I'm like they always say like
Yeah,
always do like a bang job by yourself because when you have two people, someone's gonna rat you out. No one's talked about it. No one
Yeah,
ratted anybody out.
exactly.
Everyone's like keeping quiet after all
Yeah.
these years.
and
They're
it's
like,
always well,
like,
this
yeah.
theory is always like it's all about like the chase of the theory because I'm 100% sure like if one of them would come out true, then they'd be like, well, but, and then there's another one because there's nothing what do you gain after
this,
that? Like,
then
what do you, how do you, are you
that,
gonna feel better? Are you gonna be happier? It's just gonna, it's like a drug. It's gonna be like, well, what's next? It's like that. It's like, this is what it's like, it's all like, work on yourself.
And there's like no guy with like, just like the voice distortion with the shadow on his face goes, I was there playing the
By the way,
bombs
I
in
forgot
the
to mention
World Trade Center.
that Tony is a huge conspiracy theorist. So like,
Tony and I are both. He's pacing back and forth right now.
The guy that was talking
These
about-
fucking guys.
The guy that was talking about
they don't-
acid in there, with the difference between acid and shrooms.
Hey, I mean, can we admit there's a lot of mystery about the planet Earth?
you see.
Yeah, so we can say that.
Well, that is true. I mean,
I want there to be a mystery.
My
I'm being
thing is,
honest.
like-
I'm being honest. I think we can
No,
at
look.
least ask questions, but obviously flat
I'll
Earth
give
is
you
stupid.
one not conspiracy theory, but stuff that's like it's not like proof. But let's say ghosts. Or
I like
spirit.
ghosts. I'm a ghost
like,
guy.
Let me tell. Like when my grandma or my aunt grandma's passed away. You know, like I had like a thing where like I felt like the dog like barked at a thing. I opened the
At a
door.
spirit?
No, he was barking, and somebody rang the bell, and I opened the door. There was nobody there, and then he went like that, and he just hit in the like saw something and hit in there, and I'm like, what the, so little things like that I've gone like, okay, I didn't see anything, but there was something where I go like, all right, in my mind I was like, all right.
Well, I like to believe in the paranormal because I mean it's so fun to like shit. Maybe like ghosts. Like if we don't have any,
Fun
of that
is
shit,
the
like it's boring.
keyword. The keyword is fun
It's
there.
fun.
That's why I'll do all of these.
But it's
things
like if we
for
didn't have any of that
fun.
shit and all these shows and stuff like that, like the world would be like boring, wouldn't it?
But I mean, that's the whole point.
I want to go like fucking like
a lot of
go
imagination.
haunted house hunting and shit.
I'm fine with imagination. I'm fine with anything that's imagination for stories.
I
and
love
stuff
Ghost
like that.
Adventures.
My thing is when people like believe stuff where it's like, oh, this is like my life and this is like real.
Yeah.
Like that's where I go like, all right, do something else, man. Like get a dream.
Yeah,
Get a
when they
goal.
try to push it on you. Like I've had some like. I stand for the whole anti-vax situation. I think you can do whatever you want, but in order to take part in society, especially as comics, we had to get vaccinated and everything like that. And I wrote some jokes about it, and one of them went viral. And I just the harassment that I've gotten is insane. Of people telling me that more people are dying from getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm like, none of these are true.
Of course.
And the effort it would take to microchip you or like all of your theories can be explained
to
away.
Put a microchip in a liquid is like doesn't even make sense.
It was just I got bombarded with insanity.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
one
thing.
thing if it's like hurt you like any vaccine, you can die from any vaccine. But it's like like the flu vaccine or like the fucking tetanus shot, you can die from.
Of course.
But it's like I can see if they're saying that, but it's like people saying like the mind control. It's like, dude, you lost me.
Yeah.
But also, it's like this whole thing too started because it's like back 7 years ago when there was no internet. You think people are going to be like, I did my own research? No. It's because now you have the easiest of to go to Google and you'll put something and Google's going to, because that's how the algorithm works, is going to find you some article that somebody wrote in their own basement
And we know
that supports your crazy idea. And then you go like, you see, somebody else
And
thinks
Facebook
like me.
admitted that they were doing that.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just for engagement.
And also, if you tell me like I did my own research, like dude, like
that's a bad time.
that's
When
a
somebody,
bad thing to say because it's like
unless you're an actual researcher, that's your job in a university and you're researching, these things for like 7 years and stuff like that. That's when somebody can say
these
like, I
guys
did
on
my own research.
like I'm from
Yeah,
this like
that's
small.
what research is.
That's what research.
Like I'm small town Illinois growing up, and it's like these dudes on Facebook that I grew up with, like, dude, you fucking like do your own research. Like they were so crazy about. I'm like, you fucking dropped out of high school. Like, you were an asshole.
You're not
And like, you're
doing-
like, what are you talking about? Like you couldn't even get through high school.
Yeah, you're not doing it. You're taking a survey.
And now you're
is
fucking
what
you're
doing.
like a
You're
fucking
not-
Harvard professor. It's like it doesn't make sense.
No, it's insane. And the trick that I've noticed recently on both sides of any of these debates that drives me nuts, and it happens a lot on these talking head shows, is that they explain away the other side by going, that's an obscure example. That's a rare example. That's not.
Oh.
And then they use rare and obscure examples to back up their own
Some
ideas.
guy that doesn't even have a.
And this happens on both ends of the spectrum.
Of
I
course,
see
it's both
liberals do
sides.
it, and I see, but they explain away things by going, that's really rare, and then they use such a rare thing to defend their point. I'm like, you just used a really rare argument.
Or they use a doctor that has a PhD. Like he's not a medical doctor. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, PhD means philosophy. And they go, no. It's like,
Again, it's justifications to believe what they want to believe. So they believe the lie in order to feel themselves like it's true.
Yeah, confirmation bias.
Of course.
Yes.
100%.
So you say you mentioned from Chicago. You
Outside
grew up
Chicago.
there.
It's like a small town. I'm from Starved Rock area, which is like a state park southwest. Actually, there's a show on HBO Max called The Star of Rock Murders that Mark Wahlberg produced.
Oh.
It came out like 2 years ago or a year ago. Watch
That
it.
it was a murder that happened when you were
There's a
living
triple
there.
murder in the thing, and all my, everyone, a lot of people I know back there. It's in my actual town, and but they, there was a triple murder in the '60s, but that guy is just getting out now, or he got paroled, and they're saying like he didn't do it, like he was forced because there was like a lot of mafia shit and like shitty cops and like so it's like a big thing.
Yeah.
So we don't know like what.
Has he spoken yet? Has he?
Yeah, he was like well for these last 6 years he's pleaded that he's not. Didn't do it.
Oh, he's all right.
He's always been. He said he's innocent. So it's like this thing where it's.
Is he camera ready?
Well, he's like 90.
I know he's been locked away from society.
I mean, at that
forever.
point, just stay, right? Because it's gonna happen like the Shawshank Redemption guy. Remember? Like
Yeah, and it's like that. Then like the town's like kind of split where like people don't like him, and then some people fucking like. It's like kind of.
All
It's
right.
not a big town, so it's like.
So when did you move to LA to pursue comedy from Chicago?
2005, maybe four.
Did you drive or you flew here?
I drove. I made that drive like 3 times.
Oh, did you do it with a group of friends?
I had one friend follow me. We had our own cars.
You did a convoy?
No,
God,
get
you
this.
make-
Like, because I was thinking about like it was like I was living in Chicago, and then I was like, "Fuck, I'm leaving." One of my friends was getting engaged, and it's like, and when you're doing comedy there too, it's like you're not.
So we were doing comedy in Chicago before.
Barely. I was doing like one open mic a month, and I did the Second City writing program, but it was kind of like that time.
Right.
I'm like, I kind of want to do comedy, but it's like it's hard to get spots. And
So also you were
you're not
working
really
in Hooters,
Yeah,
right?
and I was working at downtown and some fucking.
Hooters?
No, that was in Champaign, but I should have worked a bar job.
Where
I was,
were you
I was working
working
at
in-
Chicago Teachers Pension Fund, like a executive assistant.
What?
Yeah, on the river, 55 West Wacker. It's like on the river, and yeah, I remember I used to do everything. I used to fucking file things and like, but I also for the executive area, all these old guys that were like the president and stuff like that. I would have the key to the bathroom, and I'd always remember like that they would come in the morning after their morning coffee, and they're like, "Can I have the key?" And I'm like, "Here." And then like 20 minutes later, they come out, I'm like, "Let's put it there." And I like fuck, you just know they're just like dropping.
Just dudes.
Right.
Just every morning, same fucking 3 dudes. Like,
Wouldn't you just want to leave it unlocked?
no, because it was the executive.
Is there
bathroom.
executive bathroom?
Oh, right.
Like you would come up the elevators like ding, and then there was like a long thing like it's like fucking Vanilla Sky, and I was just sitting there at the desk. Like when you would come out, it'd be right to me, and it was like just the skyline like this, and I'd just be like, hello, like I'd have a computer, so I'd be data entry and stuff.
Did you ever use the bathroom?
Yeah, that's why, because I would go in there, I'd be like, oh fuck, like.
This needs to...
Was it worth? Was it better than the normal bathroom? What was
Yeah,
it,
way
what-
better.
What was it different?
Once you get over the smell, it's way
Well,
better.
it was just like the executive bathroom was like fucking. It was
like palatial?
really nice.
But is it just one toilet?
No, it was like a few, but then it was like a big. It was like almost like a locker room, But these guys, this shit would last for like hours.
Good places to take a
I mean, because
shit.
these guys weren't in shape. It was like some guys. They were nice guys, but they're just like one guy's like fat. Like, give me the key. I'm like, dude, fucking.
Yeah.
I want to eat those muffins in the morning.
So what happened?
I'm on a diet. I'm like, I have a muffin. I'm like, that's 800 calories. Bran? Like people have no
Good
idea
for
about.
me.
People have no idea about nutrition.
Oh no! I watched some of my overweight friends put tons of salad dressing on their salad. I'm having a
It's like worse
salad,
than fucking-
and they're
They think it's healthy.
dousing
Mine's
it,
on
and
a
I'm
burger.
like, and you try to tell them, there's more calories, and they're like, no, whatever, it's salad. They're just
Or eating a power bar. Like that's a fucking candy bar. That's like a Snickers.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking.
yeah. I saw Mean Girls.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's
They
the
put that.
crux of Mean Girls. She
What was that
keeps
thing?
giving her
Well, I
protein
used to
bar.
wrestle, so like I can't believe that they had a thing called carbo coolers back in the night, early '90s, and we would just get like because you wrestled, so it was like you after weighing you had to like do carbs, but there was like it was like a thing called carbo coolers, and it was really thick, and it'd be like I don't know what it was like Gatorade, but like it was like really thick. They're really good too, but like it would get you right back into like wrestling
Right.
mode because you're fucking cutting weight for 5 days,
Mm.
But it was I remember like they would never
It was
be
like
able to.
carbo loading.
It was
then,
called
is that-
carbo coolers. And I remember it was just like sold by the Gatorades and like that was always the
I forgot
They
all
would
about
never
the
play
carbo loading theory.
Did you ever get a boner while wrestling? I don't know, and I wonder, like,
I had to wrestle. I had to wrestle females.
It's like
no, I'm talking about like while you're wrestling, like you're like,
Has always been a concern of yours?
I mean, like,
that'd be awesome to go like this. Go, hey, and you go. That's like a bad
no,
dream.
because it
Yeah.
could.
That'd be like a dream you would have in high school. Like, I had a dream I got a boner while I was
that would be a
wrestling.
nightmare
No, because
dream.
it's not even because you're like attracted to the other person. It's because of the constant rubbing. You know what I mean? Like, right?
Is that how you get boners?
Well, like when you're young, remember when you have those boxers?
Yeah, but it's like if you fucking you're drunk in high school or at a bar fight, like gets his ass kicked. Like, why didn't you get a boner when you got your fucking when the guy laid you out?
There was constant rubbing.
That guy just fucking. They just beat the shit out of you. Like, why do you got a boner? How'd you get a boner when the guy was like working on your face? He's like, he's got a boner.
Well,
that's like beating some guy.
That's the way to get out of the fight.
Like your brain is so trained that you can just get a boner to get out of the fight.
Yeah.
The guy's like, let's go, motherfucker. I'm gonna kick your ass. He's like, yeah, you sure you want to? He's got a fucking boner, dude.
Yeah, if you could will your boner, that's
Kick his ass. They still kick your ass.
No, but I remember back in when you're in middle school, like anything that would just touch your penis, you just get hard. You know what I mean?
I had to wrestle girls,
What? Really?
There you go.
So did you get a boner?
but I wasn't thinking about fucking.
No, I know. I'm not talking about
think.
sexual.
There's
Like three guys back there, and everyone's like,
yeah.
there's like different viewpoints every time he talks.
I feel like the mind is 90% of it, and then 10% of the rubbing. But the
Yeah.
way this story is being told, it's 90% rubbing, 10%
Well, it's also
mind.
it's like you're about to fucking go in front of like hundreds of people, like fucking just everyone's watching you wrestle this
That's
guy.
true.
It's almost like, do you get a boner before you go on stage?
No.
As you're
No,
walking?
but it's kind of
'Cause your
like
legs are rubbing?
it's kind of like going to the doctor, and he tells you, "Hey, take off your pants to check you out," and then you don't get a boner there,
True.
or do you?
Is it a female doctor? No, I don't know. I mean, not
Say
anymore.
Generally, everything other than sex gives me performance
Boners.
anxiety enough
Boners
that
was
I don't have
JJ
to worry.
Francisco.
That I don't have to worry about boners.
I mean, when you're in junior high, yeah, I remember like we had.
That's what I mean. When you're little,
Yeah.
not when you're like a man.
Yeah, every boy learns the belt tuck when you're in junior high. You know?
The belt tuck.
Yeah.
What is that?
Just to get the
You know what I
boner
kind of
so
feel
you
like?
get it.
This is like if aliens were living among us. That's how they would talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of like you don't even like, is he a fucking alien? He's like, well, what do you mean? What's junior high? And you're like, what? I mean,
What's
yes.
a boner tuck?
What's a belt tuck?
What's a belt tuck? Like, you know, when your dick goes up, it's like you put in your belt so it doesn't like.
My
Did
dick
you
doesn't
just
go that
proudly
way.
have it out? Like it's
My friend used to do all the tricks. My drunk
You're
fr-
tent poling away, and nobody ever taught you the belt tuck. That's
the belt tuck. But you would like
tuck.
my friend would always do those drunken frat. I wasn't a frat, but like drunken kids in college. They always do like those dick games where like he was like, oh, the wristwatch. He put his dick around like this.
yeah.
And he like Texas belt buckles when you put it up and the dick head sticks out. And what was the other one? Like one time he made it look like he had 3 balls. It's just not me and him. It was like a big party. You know, girls were there like laughing.
Yeah.
And then when you tuck it in, it's the fruit basket, and you bend over with everything sticking out the back, and you bend over. That's the fruit basket.
I never had that inclination, but I did have
They're
some
party tricks.
teammates.
It's not like
and
two guys. It's like a party.
Party tricks is like here, here's a card. That's a fucking party trick. Not like
Card.
let me rub my dick around my arm.
Let's remember that
The fucking
Francisco
90s were
played
different, man.
Francisco played tennis.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very, very, very different
Love it.
locker
Then
room.
you come into a party like you know like the shit tie. He's like, love it. Would you like to see a card trick?
Yeah, but definitely my college
Hey,
basketball
when you guys
team.
come to my wedding, don't do those party tricks.
Everybody,
we won't
everybody,
be. We won't
chill
be.
out. Andy from Star Rock is coming. He might do the dick jokes.
But I there was a couple guys in college basketball, and I remember this still baffled me that they would have their dicks out. Like in the I remember one time in the library, their dicks out. We're in the library, and if they got you to look, it was the equivalent. Remember how that game? Remember when that game went
the
around?
90s were nuts.
When that game went around,
my
everybody
God.
made you look, and then they get to punch
Yeah.
you. Well, this was the worst version because he'd have his dick out, and then if he caught you looking,
Then you'd get punched.
then you got ridiculed.
Yeah.
You're like,
And
he was
sometimes you got punched.
He was looking at my dick. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Stop
like insult to
stop
insult,
having it out.
insult to injury to insult to injury. It's like you looked at my dick, wham! Like fuck, you told
I
me.
mean, those guys were obviously
Stick to
closeted.
tennis.
Stick to
They were
tennis.
closeted gay, right? Those guys.
No, I think they're
I don't
so
think
hetero
I
that
think
that's what they're
I think-
doing.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't.
No.
They were.
Yeah, it's not really a
I
gay
mean,
thing.
that's a
I think it
good
is.
theory, but
I think it's like I think it is.
Alien again. Yeah.
Yeah,
I read
think there's just
I read in a
different levels of
magazine.
jock, man. It's just a weirdly.
But
jock.
it's so
It's
funny
just
how
like locker room
thing
humor, you know?
But it's so funny how like those guys are the ones then who are like
Remember in
very like anti-gay. It's like you're putting your dick in your other friend's mouth. Like what the fuck?
I don't think
I don't think it
being
went that
gay
far.
came in. I don't think
I don't know
homosexuality.
if your country club did this, but like,
Yeah, it's not a gay.
it's locker room shit. Remember in the movie Kids when the
thing.
guy's going like this and smacking his dick? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's a comfort zone thing.
Yeah.
It's a can I make you squeamish?
Yeah. Hey, look at my dick.
Have you ever
Yeah.
seen Waiting?
Oh yeah. Yeah, when they're doing
Right.
that shit when they're waiting, you know.
Waiting.
Oh, were they doing that thing?
What?
Or-
Well,
What-
it's
is
not
that a
really.
movie?
It's not the
Movie.
dick thing. It's just like look at my. It's like
By the way, you guys doing that?
It evolved.
Somebody might take that in a screenshot and then it's gonna show that you guys are like white supremacists. 'Cause
Yeah.
isn't that the look?
yeah, we're going.
Yeah, you were going like.
Yeah, they tried to rebrand
And
it.
then they fucking put white supremacy with JJ Brazil. They photoshopped it. And we're going like
and
this.
he's wearing the hat. And
We're like, we're
everything.
talking about the
No,
dick
I'm-
thing, not
I'm
fucking Hitler.
like, no, that annoyed me a couple years ago when that came out because
Yeah.
there was some photos. We did that on the Jim Jeffries show as well, and that was a big argument in our writers' room. I was like, no, they're playing that game. They're playing the Made You Look game, but then it got rebranded as this white power
at Gen
thing.
Z, dude, with
they've
their
gone
TikTok
through,
shit, like
so they've
rebranding
gone through all
everything.
these photos and stuff in the 90s when people were doing it. I'm like, they weren't. It wasn't. It's not. You're saying okay.
Yeah.
You're saying okay, or you're
saying, look
playing.
at my dick.
So I mean, I'm fine with arguing that we're doing the looky loo
Oh, the
game.
90s
We're
were
not
so
doing
great.
it. We're not
But
doing
you
something.
see what they're gonna do? They're gonna somebody's gonna
Bring it on.
They're gonna
Bring it
edit
on, you
and they're gonna show
dickheads.
you doing it, and they're just instead of you saying like they're playing the dick, and there's gonna be like, oh hi.
Yeah, they just edit everything out. It just goes white supremacy, and then boom. Actually, there's your edit point right there. Shit.
Yeah.
You already said it. Fuck.
All right. Well, we're gonna get in some trouble then.
Well, it's gonna. Well,
all
we got a
memes, you know?
couple of minutes left.
There's actual. I have a question that I didn't get to ask you earlier. I started to, and then
Where was I walking to when you grabbed me?
we had a fantastic distraction.
Well, he went into the fucking journey.
No, I was gonna say you filmed this the movie. We're going back to the movie now. You film it all, and then the pandemic hits. How hard is it, and how much marketing change ups did you guys have to do?
I think it
to get this
helped
movie-
because,
right, okay,
So when, because if we would have, edited it and brought it out then during the pandemic, it'd be like, I mean, I guess people would watch
Actually,
it.
that would have been better.
Maybe, but also like a lot of that alien shit came out. Remember, like with the Congress released all those things, and it kind of made a big buzz about aliens in general, in Area 51 and like what they're doing. And so it's like they kind of brought it out then.
and everybody's locked in watching TV during the pandemic as well. So there's,
but they didn't do it during
we
the
didn't do it during the pandemic because it's like we kind of, I don't know, there was,
They should have.
yeah. Well, I don't know if they had it
it
done
would have
editing
been
yet.
rushed then, I guess.
Yeah, it would have been rushed, and it was like, but I don't know. I mean, because a lot of that alien shit came out later, and
Right. Okay. So
but there's so much shit out there anyway. It's like fucking.
so there was kind of hiccups that you guys were ready for anyway. You were planning
Pay
to have
the
that.
fucking $2, you know.
Right.
Fuck. People are so
Right.
fucking cheap.
Now, on our last episode, we were talking about this lady who got redirected her flights. She had a really short 444-mile flight. They canceled it on her, and she rebooked really quickly without noticing that it was a 10-hour round-trip replacement flight. And so we had a nice little discussion about that. We were wondering, has anything like that ever come into your
good segue.
traveling life
No,
as you're getting around?
my old roommate Julie, she was gonna go to Athens, Greece,
Yeah.
and she was like drunk one night, and she goes, "Oh my God, fucking $300! I got the fucking deal of a lifetime, $300."
Athens, Georgia.
It was Athens, Georgia, and she didn't figure it out till like the day before, and then her ticket ended up being like $2,000 because it was like last minute.
Oh,
Oh, so she
ouch.
did have to go to Greece? Oh, because
Yeah.
she planned all everything. Like the hotel and everything, but she
Yeah,
bought
but
the wrong ticket.
the wrong ticket, so she had to go. It might have been for like a wedding too.
Was it her first time out of the country?
No, we were all doing fucking drinking and doing drugs and shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's like don't do orbits when you're wasted at 5 a.m. Yeah.
That's a tough one to. There's I did in New York. I was in New York 3 weeks ago, and I did initially. I mean, it was easily fixable, but I went to Broadway, Brooklyn.
Oh.
One time on the train, because I was trying. Sometimes in the subways in New York, sometimes it's well lit and you can see the destination, and then you'll get on another train where there's no fucking help whatsoever, and you just gotta
There should
know
be a
where the
little
fuck
thing
you're
go
going.
like when you do that, go, hey, this is bloop, this
Yeah.
isn't this.
Yeah.
So at one point I was in Brooklyn, but I was like couldn't find the the adjoining train or whatever, the next train. And so I got out and I asked people, and I happened to be at Broadway, Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
And it was so baffling because I'm asking people, they go, "You're at Broadway, man." And I'm like, "Oh, shit. Such a tourist." Now that wasn't an expensive mistake. It was easily rectifiable, but holy shit.
Where were you during Halloween?
What was that?
Where were you at during Halloween?
Halloween, I was in some Pine Mountain Club. Have you guys been to Pine Mountain Club?
No.
Fun little gig. It's like a ski kind of hill. I don't know. It was very
like in North California.
I felt it was about an hour away. It was like towards Santa Barbara, and then you go up into the mountains. Dave Yates, great fun comic books.
Yeah, we went out. He was fucking Freddie Mercury.
I was Freddie Mercury.
Freddie had this jacket with the mustache and shit, and he's like,
Sometimes people were like, "Who are you?" I was like,
they couldn't tell.
Right, it's very iconic, right?
Yeah.
But then this fucking guy, he's like,
"I'm a porn star."
But he's walking around with that yellow jacket and shit. He's like, Freddie Mercury, not original. I'm like, "What'd you make the jacket?" He goes, "Amazon." I'm like, fucking guy.
Oh, Amazon. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, baby.
We went to that party.
It was quick couple things before we leave.
Wasn't
you're not going to say a story about the guy?
Yeah, you got to tell us the story.
So we were at this Halloween party and like.
But I was just going to say Freddie Mercury. That was a huge Halloween costume 2 years ago, wasn't it?
I know.
Which is smart. I think that's clever.
I don't like doing that right in the beginning.
Yeah, you've waited.
Fucking, hey, next year's going to be E.T. The E.T. mask. Like,
no, because it was me and my fiancée. She did the Freddie Mercury of the video of like, I want to break free.
Right.
So we were both Freddie Mercury.
I like the planning of that. I mean, Tiger King and Carol Baskin, that's not going to work in a couple of years. But no. Freddie Mercury is
he's going to go Tiger King,
yeah. Plus, that was such a, like, speaking of like pandemic things of like, that show would not have been as successful if it wasn't because
I didn't even like it. I didn't get through it. I'm like, I love animals. I didn't want to fuck this guy's a piece of shit. I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah, we were all going through a community mental illness.
Of course.
All of us, as a hive mind.
So at this Halloween party, before we leave, we were at, I think... you don't
have to say what it is.
No, I don't have to say where. I'm just saying that the situation. We're just talking or whatever, and then, like, I think a busboy came and, like, kind of, like, hit you or something.
He nudged you?
So we're on a rooftop, and it's like, I like to go to a house... I'm 44 years old, like, I just want to go to house parties and shit. So my one friend was kind of, like, promoting it, and... we get up there, but it's like very Hollywood, it's like $20 drinks and like, everyone's dressed up, but everyone's on their phones. Just okay, you don't know anybody.
There's no party.
So we're just we're just standing there.
No atmosphere.
Our little group, we're just standing there, and it's like, but she came over at one point. She's like, hey, go by these empty tables. These are the area I have reserved. You guys want to go over there? She's like, go over there. So I'm like, fuck, all right. I'm talking to people. I'm like, I just go over there by myself. And I'm like, And then this guy that's like the camera guy comes up. And it's like they hired or whatever. He's like, hey, let me get you guys a picture. So the guy comes over and like, I'm like, hey, Francisco, come over. And he's like, trying to take a picture. I'm like, come on, dude. It's like, that's when the camera guy, like, you can't get it right. He's going, hold on. This dude behind me, this barback guy, but like a food runner, like had all these drinks, like, beep, move, motherfucker, move. And I was like, fuck, come on, take the picture. And it was like this like heated moment, like it's like pushing, slamming me in the back. I'm like, stop, motherfucker. And I did that. And like, he goes, what'd you say to me? And I go, what? I don't, it's like,
so he's shoving you.
Yeah, but then he walks over there and we see him. He's like an older guy. And I'm like, but I'm like, he's like looking back, I'm like, fuck that guy, fucking like get him. And he's like, now he's like, oh, I didn't mean it. It's like, you're hitting me.
Yeah.
And then he's talking to the bouncer. And the bouncer's going, what? And he goes, oh, fuck. Bouncer comes over. He goes, hey, man, you fucking with the staff? I go, no. And he goes, you got to go. And I'm like, I wasn't. He goes, you called him motherfucker? I go, I was just saying it. Like, he was bumping me in the back.
Figure of speech.
And then the guy goes, come on, man. Like, be up front. Like, if you were, you got to go. I'm like, and I'm thinking, like, who the fuck would then? I'd go, I was. Like, I'm going to admit it. And I'm like, I'm going to walk myself out,
Wow.
But it was so shitty. And it's
sounds like it wasn't a good enough party for you to fight to stay anyway.
Yeah, we left after, but it's like, but also the guy's old, and it's like, fucking, you're a busboy, and it's $2,000 a fucking table bottle service. Like every I worked service industry my whole life. Like every one of these motherfuckers walking around with $1,000. Like he makes more than I do. He's like, you're not bar bagging at Barney's Beanery,
Yeah.
So it's like fucking the guy's like.
Is that where you guys were? Were you at Barney's?
No, it was a rooftop.
It was a rooftop, but really kind of high across the street. Actually.
It was a very
Mama
like,
shelter?
LA party, which, like you said, it wasn't that cool because everybody, like, I
didn't know anybody.
That's a tough thing at some of these parties lately. Like, see, I'm impressed that you said you're like, I'm 44 and I want to go to parties because I feel like once you get in your 40s, I'm like, I like to stay home.
Yeah, it was like it's fucking Monday night, and I'm like, fuck, I'm 44. I'm like, and after this, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
But that is
I'm too old.
I am finding that a problem, an increasing problem at some parties is people are less social now when everybody's
They're
a
on their
stranger.
phone.
Everyone's on their
yeah,
phones.
you feel like
Hot girl, hot
Yeah.
girl, hot girl, hot girl, hot girl, but they're all looking at their phones like.
and give a shit,
They
and
don't
then you're
give a
like,
shit
all
about,
right,
like-
They're not
that
even
was fun.
dancing.
Nice
Yeah,
meeting
there was no,
everybody.
they
I'll
weren't
see you
dancing. It's
later.
like,
There was no dancing. There was nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. It's like, what's up? It's like they all do that to take pictures to put on social media.
That's all they want.
That's
Which is
what it
like
was.
that's what it was.
but
And
not
I
my
was
friend
like,
was Palmer. They had a group. It was cool. But I'm saying, but then
Yeah.
there was this other people like all over. It was kind of like you.
I feel like Halloween has turned into that. It's turned into that social media night instead
Well,
of
that's everything
we're gonna
now.
go.
Yeah.
That's everywhere
Yeah,
you go. That's
everything's
why,
a photo
That's why
op.
it's cool to go. Just like maybe have like a small house party with friends that you can just hang out and
Yeah,
have fun.
You got to see those friends that you haven't seen in a long time.
But the
That's
person
the way
that
you have to
the person
prioritize.
our one friend, she usually throws like dope ass house parties. So like, we were hoping
Yeah.
she did that, but there was more this thing.
There's
I'm like,
more a business
Right.
proposition,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're almost done.
Anger.
outta
That's
here.
another example of people bringing their anger into work because that busboy sounds like he doesn't.
Oh, he was pissed.
Didn't
Yeah,
have to be
I was very
slamming on your
impressed how
back.
pissed he was. Actually.
I mean, he
really?
wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, he
and then he
was
kept
like-
riding by. I'm like, dude, man, what did I do?
Right.
He's like going, fucking.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, you're.
He got in a fight with his girlfriend at home. She wanted him to have the night off. He was
Yeah,
going
when I
to
was
be
fucking
he was going to be
busboy at
the
Hooters, I was making $3.
yeah, he was
You know,
going
I
to
should
be the back
pissed.
of the horse. He was
Yeah.
supposed to be the other half of my costume.
And actually, when I would get mad at people at Hooters, they'd be like, shut up, fucking busboy. He's like, titties everywhere. He was like, you should be happy. I'm like, no, I am happy. I appreciate my life.
Should we close it with our traditional? We have one traditional question that we always
But I
ask
just
our
threw
guest
water on me. I'm
Andy.
like,
Yes, we always. Our guests always get slimed at the end of the episode.
We're sponsored by Nickelodeon.
Yeah. No, we always like to ask our guests before they take off if you have a favorite piece of travel advice that you like handing to people if they're going somewhere.
Okay. I just went to Pioneer Town,
Oh yeah,
which is
That's
really
a great
awesome.
place. Yeah,
So if you're going to Pioneer Town,
by the Pioneer Town in
it's by
in
Joshua Tree,
California.
California.
Oh, okay.
And it's an
Desert
old.
trip.
It's like the old where they used to film.
Yeah,
Like the Clint Eastwood movies and all the spaghetti westerns.
Oh, right. Okay.
But they kept it kind of like the same, and they have like a little bar. It's called the Red Dog Saloon that they the dogs in, and then they have another one called I'm trying to think of the names. 2 names. Tristan. But anyway, but if you go there, do the Pioneer Town Motel.
Okay.
Motel.
The motel. It's like right there on the premise. So, but it's like really cool. It's like ranch style, but it's like really updated, but it looks kind of like an old school like Western motel.
Oh, really?
And like in the movies, when like but all the rooms are cool.
Oh.
They're really nice,
Yeah.
and like redone.
Right on.
So it's like, and also a lot of people have their weddings there. But also there's no TVs because even then we went to Joshua Tree and we got a Airbnb and they didn't have any TV. I
Nice.
think people want people to go and like
Of course, to
disconnect.
explore and disconnect.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
good.
So yeah,
That's what
so
happened.
if you go to Pioneer Town, pay the money for one night, or 2 nights,
Pioneer Motel.
yeah, because otherwise you have to go somewhere else and it's not fun.
Yeah.
That's a great tip too because it's not something that people think about. People think about Joshua Tree and Vegas, but
Yeah.
they don't think
Pioneer
about
Town,
some of-
it's really fucking
That's-
cool.
It's really
And
cool. Did you go to
there's
that
like a party at night.
restaurant? That restaurant that they also play music. They have the barbecue thing.
That's the one. What's that one? Yeah, we went there at night.
That's like a
that's
really
where they
good
have
one.
bands and shit. What's
They
the
had. They
name? It's
actually
like,
had
I've been there.
Tammy and Frank's or
big
some shit.
outdoor.
Paul McCartney played there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like people pop in.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they're going through.
Like good bands.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul McCartney.
And forgive me, people are like probably screaming, going, "It's his fucking name." I'm like, I'm trying
Yeah,
to,
forget
starts
the
with a T, like Tammy and John's or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
But,
like that. But yeah, that's a cool place. I've been there. It's really cool. I stay there in a little
Yeah, and a
Airbnb there
lot
too.
of picture ops too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome for all you
And there's hookers
Instagrammers.
everywhere. No,
Hookers blow ecstasy. Go to Pioneer Town.
it's kind of like the old Wesson.
If you want to let people know where they can follow you and see you.
Andy
and-
Kozel at Andy Kozel. Go on my Instagram, ANDYKOZEL. Go rent Dreamland, Stormy Area 51
and where
Or
can they
harass
rent it?
Francisco for the code.
for the free code. If you listen to this podcast, go to. No, it's like
fuck off.
it's like on Amazon. It's all like Apple TV, all that stuff. It's on everything.
All right.
So just look it up.
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks, guys. I'm gonna go back to me walking down Sunset. Maybe I'll get on another podcast.
Well, thank you
Feel the
again
rain.
for listening and watching the show. Remember to subscribe. Remember to follow us on Instagram. If you have any other questions or comments about the trips that you have gone through or stuff that has happened to you, like missing the flights and all that stuff, let us know. Put in the comments. DM us. Do that.
Yeah, do the thing.
Follow us. Bye, hello.
Good art.